day, everyone. This is Creative Works by Annie, and today we are going to be working on some Easterly skulls. Okay, you can find this pattern in my Ravelry store for free. So if you haven't picked it up already, please go run and do that. And just put this on pause and go get that. Either have it on a different device or print it out real quick, okay? Otherwise, just sit and enjoy, and you can work on it later. Come back and watch this again and work with me. So, we are going to be taking these eggs, and we will be turning them into these eggs. Okay? Aren't they adorable? They're just so cute. And they're wonderful little stash busters. Okay? And also, if you have the variegated thread, this is actually a good time to use that as well. I'm not the biggest fan of variegated thread or yarn, but it does have its purposes, and I have used it before, and I will use it again. But in this case, this is great for that. So, side note real quick, these all, if you can't find these, which I'll tell you the brand of that real quick, if you can't find these, you can use these. Oh, wow, they're twisty type ones now. Okay. Or snap, I don't know. I haven't had these in years. I used to have a 20-gallon container of these because I used to do big, huge Easter egg hunts for my kids. But when they got older, they stopped wanting to do it, so I donated the whole entire bin. So where they are now, who knows? But these do work. Okay, they're not going to be the same type shape because this is more of a real egg shape, but these ones do work. Okay, now these right here you can find, or I found mine at Walmart, and during the Easter time sales that they have, these are just plastic hollow eggs, nothing super fancy. They are, you get a dozen of them. I picked these ones up after Easter, so that means this whole pack was only 99 cents or $1, whatever you want to call it, plus tax. And it's just a carton of plastic eggs. Okay, you can find them in white or the black, and they usually come with like a little chalk type thing. So I usually just set the chalk aside in case a little kid comes over and I can say, oh, here, draw my driveway. So, yeah, inexpensive. These are quick to make, and they're just adorable. So if you like to have Easter eggs out, this would be great. If you like to have a little Easter egg hunt, that'd be great. If you're the type of person that will leave little gifts, like you could, let's see if I have a bag right here. Yes. Oh, come on, baggie. You can take a little bag like this. This one's a little bit too big. But then you can put a little note in there, and you can put a little Easter egg in there, and you can leave them around town. You can pin them up to little things or whatnot. So that would also be adorable, little hide and seek, find the egg type thing. That would be adorable. So without further ado, let's get started. Like I said, these are great little stash busters. You can see, this is the color I'm going to be using today because there's not much left. But you can see I already have the cardboard showing, so there's not much here. So it's a great way to use up those little stashes, okay? I also have another pattern where I crochet around a Christmas bauble. And you can, those are great little stash busters too, okay? So if you are all set to go, I'm all set to go. I am using a, my thing's wearing out. It's a size 5 hook, which is a 1.9 millimeter hook, okay? And I have my pattern sitting next to me, which, by the way, I haven't actually worked this pattern in over a year. So yeah, it's going to be new to both of us. I did not practice. These are from last year when I went to a craft show and I just pulled out a leaf. Or no, I didn't even do my craft show last year because there was a hurricane that came through, so the event was canceled. So I haven't done these in a couple years. So we're going to be doing this for almost the first time together. But once again, this is my Easterly Skulls. Pattern is free on Ravelry. Okay? Looks like I need to make some more red ones. I don't have any red ones in my bin. Okay. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to get started. I did switch to a whiteboard because it is showing up a little bit nicer in the camera. Okay? So let's get started. We are going to chain 6. We're going to first do a slip knot, and then we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to join to form a little loop there. And I always fold over my tail because I work over my tail. I was doing some painting, so please excuse the little bit of paint on my hands. Now we are going to chain 3, or actually chain 2. This is going to be the start of a DC together, okay? So chain 2, put a double crochet in this loop. Now we're going to chain 2 and put a DC together in that same loop there. 2. Now a DC together is I call it a DC tog, which is short for DC together, also known as a 2 DC cluster, okay? But in here, I refer to it as a 2 DC tog. Now we are going to chain 2, and we're going to put a V-stitch in the same loop. A V-stitch is a double crochet, a chain 2, and a double crochet. Hands are not seeming to work today. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. We're going to work a 2 DC tog in there, in that loop. 2. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to work another DC together in there. I'm going to chain 2. We're going to work another V-stitch. We're going to chain 2 and join with a slip stitch into the first double crochet there. Okay? And since I worked over my tail, I'm going to flip it to the wrong side, give it a little snuggy pull, and snip it. I don't know what that was. Okie dokie. So for round 2, we're going to slip stitch into this chain space right here. We're going to work a chain 2 and a double crochet. Now we're going to chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip the stitch, skip the chain space, and inside this V-stitch right here, we're going to work a double crochet, a chain 4, and another double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a double crochet. We're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip the chain space, skip the stitch, and work a DC together in this little chain space right here. Now I do crochet pretty fast, so please refer to your pattern, as well as feel free to pause at any time, okay? So now that after we have that DC together right there, we're going to chain 5. We're going to skip the stitch, skip the chain space, and in the V stitch, we're going to put another double crochet, chain 4, and double crochet. Okay. Now we're going to chain 5, and we're going to, oh, no, we're not going to chain 5. We are going to chain 3. Okay, after we did this last stitches in the V-stitch, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to half double crochet in the top of the first double crochet that we made. Okay. By doing this, it's an old trick that moves the starting point. Okay. So now we are in the middle, or almost in the middle of this chain space here, okay? So now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work a double crochet right around the side of that half double crochet. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip that beginning stitches right there, and we're going to work a DC together right up tight next to it. Okay. Now we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to skip the rest of that chain space right there, skip the next stitch, and put 7 double crochets in this chain space right here. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I want to also tell you, this is not going to lay flat, okay? Because remember, we're working around an egg, so we're going to be shoving the egg in there, okay? So now we are going to chain 6. We're going to put a DC together right along the side of this single one right here. Going to chain 2. We're going to work another double crochet or DC together right alongside of it right there. Okay. Now we're going to chain 6. We're going to skip the rest of this chain space and work 7 double crochets stitches in this next chain space right here. Six. Okay. Now we're going to chain 6 after that 7, and we're going to skip the rest of, or we're going to skip this chain space, and we're going to put a slip stitch in the top of that first double crochet that we did there. Okay. So for row 4, we are going to slip stitch into that chain space. We're going to chain 2. We're going to put a double crochet in that same space. Okay. Now, if you can see where it's kind of like a little weird ladder right there, or it looks like a chain. We're building a chain. So we're having 2 and then a single, 2, then a single, 2, then a single. Okay, all the way up to the top. Okay. So after that one, we're going to, let's say here, chain 6. Remember, we're working the pattern together for the first time. Well, for me, it's been a couple years. So, okay, so after we got our beginning right there, we're gonna chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna skip the stitch, we're gonna skip the chain space. In this first stitch right here, we're gonna work a DC together. Okay, we're gonna chain 1. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and DC in the next one. Chain 1, skip stitch, DC in the next one. Chain 1, skip stitch, and DC tog or DC together in the next stitch right there. Okay, so now we have the chin and the bottom row of teeth. Okay, you see that? Okie dokie. So now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to skip the chain space, skip the stitch, and put a DC tog in this little chain space right there. Okay, we're going to chain 6. And then we are going to do a DC tog in that first stitch right there. Chain 1, skip stitch, DC in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, DC in the next one. Chain 1, skip stitch, and DC tog in the next one. Okay, now we are going to do our joining, and in this case we're going to chain 4 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and once again we're going to put a half double crochet in top of that first DC right there. Okay, come on. Come on, baby. It does not. I must be holding it a little too tight or something. Did not want to go. It just doesn't want to go. It's like putting up a fight. Okay, and as you can see, it's... So, yeah. We're making an egg-shaped doily. Okie dokie. So now, now that we have that half double crochet there, we're going to do like we did before. We're going to chain 2. We're going to put a DC around the side of that half double crochet right there. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip this stitch, or this little blob, whatever this you want to call that, and put a DC tog right next to it. Okay. Now we are going to chain 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to put DC together in right here in this stitch. We're going to chain 1, skip the chain space, and put another DC in the next stitch. We're going to chain 1, skip the next chain space, put a DC in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the next chain space, and put a DC together in the next stitch. And now we have our second row of teeth. Okay, we're going to chain 5, and right up next to this stitch right here, we're going to put a DC together. Okay, we're going to chain 2. Put another DC together right there. Okay, we're going to chain 5. We're going to skip the rest of this chain space We're going to put a DC together in this next stitch. Chain 1, skip the chain space, DC in next stitch, chain 1, skip chain space, DC in next stitch, chain 1, skip chain space, and put a DC together in the next stitch, if it cooperates. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Okay, now we're going to chain 5 and join into the top of the first double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm going to change pages right here and grab a sip of my coffee real quick. Okay. Now round 6, we are going to slip stitch into this little chain space right here, chain 2, and double crochet into there. Okay. Now we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are going to skip the stitch, and in this chain space right up next to the stitch right here, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. 1, 2. Now we are going to put a single crochet in each stitch and chain space. So we're going to put a stitch here, 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 and here. Okay? And I'll see you when we get to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, by the way, you're putting single crochet stitches in each one of those spaces, right? Spaces and stitches right there. Okay. Now we're going to work 2 half double crochets right next to the stitch in this chain space. Okay. So now we have the cheekbones. So now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip the rest of the chain space, skip the next stitch, put a DC tog right in this chain space right there. Going to chain 5, skip the stitch, and right next to this stitch right here, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2. We're going to put a single crochet once again in each one of these stitches and chain spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now we're going to work 2 half double crochets right next to there. I encourage you to make these just a little bit tighter, just because that way it just makes it for a prettier piece. Okay, and this is another one of those weird endings. So we're going to crochet or chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put a half double crochet in top of that first DC right there. Now I need to put a little marker or something so that way I know where I am on my board or my thing. Okay, so now round 7, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to put a double crochet right around the side of that half double crochet like we've been doing. Going to chain 2, put a DC together right in that space, right up tight again. Now we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to skip the hidden stitch, which this is considered a hidden stitch right here because it really does look like part of the chain, okay? But that's actually the top of the half double crochet. So we're going to skip that. We're going to work in this next one. You can see that's right there saying hello. And we're going to work 2 half double crochets in that little space right there. So 1, 2. We're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're making the nose. So now we're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2. Okay, so now we have the upper cheekbones under the eyes. Okay, now we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right next to this stitch right here, we're going to work 2 DC together. 1, 2. Going to chain 2. Put another DC together right next to it. 1, 2. We're going to chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to repeat just like we did on the other side. We're going to skip the hidden stitch and we're going to work 2 half doubles in this next stitch available. 1, 2. We're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Making the nose, we're going to chain 4. 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip a stitch and put a single crochet in this next one. We're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 2, giving us a total of 3 on that side. Now we're going to put a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. We're going to finish off this row, or this round I mean, by working a chain 5 and a slip stitch into the first double crochet there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a slip stitch. Okay, round 8. We are going to slip stitch into this little chain space right here. We're going to work our chain 2 and our double crochet in that same space. Okay. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip the hidden stitch and we're going to be working 2 half double crochets into this next stitch. 1, 2. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip the next 1, 2, 3 stitches. Okay. We're going to put a single crochet in the nose here. We're going to chain 4 once again. 2, 3, 4. And we're going to skip all these stitches and put 2 half double crochets in this last stitch of the cheek right here. Okay, so we're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. 1, 2. What are you doing? You playing? I have my cat Freya that's playing with a little piece of paper. So now that we have our 2 half double crochets in that stitch, we're going to chain 5. We're going to skip this chain space, skip the stitch, and put a DC together in this chain space right here. We're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the stitch, skip the chain space, work 2 half double crochets in this next stitch. Remember, this one's hidden, so we have to work it in the next one. 1, 2. Now we're going to work a single crochet. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to chain 4. I'm so sorry. We're going to chain 4 after those 2 half doubles in there. 2, 3, 4. I'm getting distracted by my cat. She's being cute. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet in the nose. Going to chain 4. We're going to skip the next 4 stitches right here. Work 2 half double crochets in this next stitch. And if you've guessed, you are right. We're going to be working another one of those weird endings. So we're going to chain 3. We're going to half double crochet into the top of that first DC right there. It's getting tighter. Isn't that cute? It's just a little sack right there. So adorable. Okay, round 9. We're going to chain 2. Working around that half double crochet, we're going to put a DC right around there and give it a hug. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to work a DC together right next to the stitches right there. We are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip this hidden stitch right here and work a half double crochet in this next stitch. Now we're going to put 5 single crochets in each one of these 2 chain spaces right here. Okay, so we're going to have a total of 10 single crochets, so working 5 single crochets in each of those 2 chain spaces. 2, 3, 4, 5. Skipping the middle stitch there, working another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're now going to skip this hidden stitch, which is hidden because it blends in with that chain, and we're going to put a half double crochet in that next stitch. So now we are going to chain 4. We're going to put a DC together right next to this stitch, skipping the chains, or we're not going to skip the chain space. We're going to work into this chain space, putting the stitch right here. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the stitch and put a DC together right next to it. Going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to skip the hidden stitch, put a half double crochet in the next one. Once again, we're going to put 5 single crochets in each one of these chain spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to be putting a half double crochet in this next stitch right here. And we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and put a slip stitch in the top of this double crochet right here. Okay. Now you can choose to either put a stitch marker or take out your hook and put a stitch marker here, or you can be lazy and just pull up a big giant loop. Okay? Because we are going to insert an egg now. So I'll put this one in first so you can see this isn't what I'm going to use, but I'll show you that you can easily slip that in there, and you can see that it is going to work just fine for this. I would use a solid colored egg, but that's just me. That's just me, okay? And one nice thing is too, this plastic slides so nice in there. Let's see which one I like. The white. This has a matte texture on it, so it's not going to slide on as easily as that shiny plastic. Okay, so you're going to have to kind of work it up in there. I don't think I'm going to take this off, so I think we're just going to leave it as white. Using the white egg. So just pull it up on there and make sure all your stitches are kind of flat. Make sure nothing's twisted and turned, so that way you have it nice and easy to work the next few rows into, okay? Now you can see why I didn't use a stitch marker, because that would have just dangled there. So I'm just going to pull mine again or tighten my loop up and insert my hook. Now this is not the funnest part, but it's kind of fun all at the same time. Okay, so now we're going to slip stitch into this chain space. We're going to chain 2. Try not to scrape the egg, because I found that your hooks will leave a little mark on it, whether it's you're taking off the coating or you're just leaving a mark from your hook, okay? And that goes the same for the black egg or the white egg. So just kind of be mindful and be patient and careful. So we have our chain 2 in that space. We're going to put a double crochet as well. Now we're going to chain 4. 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip the stitch, skip the chain space, and skip the hidden stitch. Okay? Now we're going to be working 2 DC decrease. So that's where you do you're using a double crochet, but you're decreasing it down. Basically just like the DC tog, but you're spreading it out over 2 stitches instead of 1 stitch, or in this case it's a space. Okay? So we're going to be skipping this, skipping the hidden stitch, and see, I just marked it. I don't know if you can see that. Carefully putting your hook into that first available stitch, starting your DC, yarning over, finishing or starting another double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and now you're going to have 3 on the hook, 3 loops on the hook, pull that through. Okay, so now we are going to do that one more time, or actually no, we're going to do a 3 DC decrease over the next 3 stitches 3 times. Yikes. So we're going to insert the hook, start one there, start a DC there, start a DC there. Okay, so now we have 4 on the thing. Close it off. I'm going to do that again. So starting a DC the next stitch. Come on, baby. Starting a DC in the next one. Come on. I told you this was going to be not fun and exciting all at the same time. Okay, so now we got 3 loops. We got to do that one more time. And, oh, come on, baby. Okay. Whew, got my 4. This is a workout. Okay, we're going to close that off. Now we have to do that one more time on this side. Oh, honey, I hate to tell you this. Gotta do it on the next side too. Oh boy. Okay. Start our first one there. See, it's almost unavoidable, some of those little scrapes on there. And 3. Oh, okay, I made it. Now we're going to close that one off. Whew, that was a workout. I will tell you, that was a workout. Now we are going to chain 4. That's the easy part. we're going to skip the chain space and put a DC together in this next chain space right there. 1, 2, okay. We're going to chain 4. Pulling our little skull up just a bit there. It's like pulling up our pants because our pants fell down. We didn't wear a belt. So now we're going to skip this chain space, skip the hidden stitch. We're going to put the DC decrease over the next 2 stitches right here. It's going to get harder. So we're losing wiggle room. Yeah, this is why you want to work with just a slightly bigger hook. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Than normal if you are a tight crocheter. I should have bumped up to a different size, to tell you the truth myself. Okay. Whew. Okay, 3 on hook. Okay. Now, if you don't like how loose that is, right there, you can always slide underneath and pick up that loop and draw it through, okay? And that will tighten it. Let me show you that one more time. Now we made a regular 2 DC decrease, but you can see there's that little extra space there. So I carefully take my hook out, put my hook underneath that strand, pick my loop back up, and now pull it through all that, okay? And that really nicely tightens that up, okay? So now we're going to put a 3 DC decrease over the next 3 stitches. I know, I hate this too, but we gotta do it. There's a purpose for it. So yarn over, putting that hook in there. So we can't have a skull without a skull cap, can we? Okay. Doesn't help that every stitch we make, it gets tighter. Try to work as neatly as you can so you don't stretch anything out. Go nice and slow. You can really see I have slowed down for this. Okay, now I have 4 on the hook. Okay, gotta do that again. 1. Trying not to move my egg. That's another part that's hard for me because I would be holding this a little bit closer to my body working this, so I'm trying to stay underneath the camera, so it's a little tricky for me. I'm so sorry. I'm scraping the heck out of this little egg right here. But at least you know I'm struggling with you. Okay, last one right there. Whew. Got another one of those 3D decreases all done. 1 more to go. 1 more to go. 1, 2, and 3. Oh. Whew. Oh, let's take a mental break real quick. Whoa. Okay. Wowzers. Those were some tricky stitches, weren't they? But we got through it. We got through it. Slow and steady wins the race. So now we're going to, sorry, I just keep working. I'm sorry. I'm a workhorse. So I'm gonna chain 2, and we're gonna put a half double crochet into that first DC right there. Okay. Now once again, we might have to use that little trick to tighten that line up. Okay. But also remember, we're going to be working a double crochet around that half double. So we're going to chain 2, work our half double crochet into, sorry, I'm not going to be able to show you too well right now because I gotta, okay. Then we're going to pull it through. Now, another way you can see it's really loose. Another way to do it is to just wiggle your hook and pull your thread while you're wiggling. Yarn over and pull through. Okay? Whew. 2 more rows to go. Just 2 more. 2 more to go. So now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to work a double crochet around that half double that we made there. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip this bunch right here and put a half double, or sorry, a 2 DC tog right next to it. Okay. Then we are going to, oh, where am I on the pattern here? Didn't move my marker with me here. Okay, did that and that. We are going to chain 2 this time after that last stitch. 1, 2. We are now going to put a double crochet in this stitch right here. Come on, baby. Yes, I talk to it. My dad used to always talk to himself. Always. And my stepmom thought she was a little nuts. But you know what? By talking to himself, he agreed with himself. He talked himself into stuff, talked himself out of stuff. He figured out the problems. It was great. So yes, I picked up that trait and I talked to myself. Yes. And now I'm talking to myself, or am I talking to you? Okay, so now we're going to skip these next 2 stitches right here. We're going to put a double crochet stitch in this next stitch. Okay, remember, do that little wiggle if you need to tighten it. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to put a 2 DC tog right here. Come on. 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to chain 2. Put a DC tog right over here. 1, 2. I'm going to chain 2. We're going to put a DC right here. For some reason, I have no idea why, but I am missing a stitch. So I'm just going to fake and bake it and put my stitch right there. Like I said, no one's going to know except for you, and then even you are going to forget. So I don't know what happened to that. I must have pulled up my loop a little different or whatnot. So this time I'm only going to skip 1. But if you have 2 to skip, then skip 2, okay? Because why frog if you do not have to? Okay, I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to finish off the round by putting a slip stitch in the top of the first double crochet. Okie dokie. See, you really can't tell. Okay. Now we're the last round. We're going to slip stitch into that chain space, and we are going to chain 2, and we're going to slip stitch over here across from it. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to go right back over to this side and put a slip stitch. Okay, there's our end. Now if you want to hang these, you could make a chain that's nice and long and then attach it to the other side right here. Okay, that way you can hang them up, like if you're going to decorate a tree or whatnot. I'm just going to fasten mine off. Take my scissors. Okay. And we have our little egg. I'm going to tuck in my tail and hide that. But yeah, it's a quick and easy pattern. It's a little tricky here and there because our fingers don't want to work fully. But yeah, and you can see I messed up on this side, but you can't tell. So don't worry about it. Don't frog if you don't have to on some of these things, okay? You can see it fits really snug and nice. You can always adjust just a bit if you want. But yeah, that's it. Easy peasy. But yeah, now you can kind of tease some of the family members or in-laws that are not big skull fans. You can have these hidden around places in your home for Easter or whatnot. And like I said, you can always put these in a little plastic bag with a card, sticker, little note, and set these around town or whatnot. So it's always a cute little thing to do. Cute little gift. Quick and easy. Once again, these I found at Walmart. I picked up mine after holiday season, when I wrote the pattern, of course, because I picked them up first, full price, and then after holiday, picked it up. And so, yeah, you can make quite a few of these. Decorate your home, put them in an Easter basket. I kind of have mine here, one there that doesn't have it. And so they kind of look cute. And you can see I have them right there. They just look adorable. Adorable little things. They'll really stop people in their tracks. And be all like, what? Yes. So I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And feel free to share this video. Also, don't forget, this is a free pattern on Ravelry, so if you haven't downloaded it yet or adopted it off of there, go run and do that. I will have the link for that below, as well as the regular Ravelry page with all my patterns. And you can also find my patterns on Etsy, but the free ones are only on Ravelry. Okay? So, you have a wonderful day and have fun with your little Easter eggs here. Nice little stash buster. Have a good day. Talk to you later.